I'm your host, and today we're diving deep into an interview that's got a lot of minds buzzing. It features Mike Adams, the health ranger and founder of naturalnews.com, in a riveting conversation with Roger Stone on The Stone Zone Show. If you haven't heard of Adams, you're in for a treat. This guy is not just a health guru. He's a free speech advocate, a tech-savvy strategist, and a keen political analyst. Now, the interview starts with Stone setting the stage. He's clearly concerned about the Democratic National Convention, calling it a tsunami of hypocrisy and false virtue signaling. But the real meat of the conversation kicks off when they dive into the attempted assassination of President Donald Trump. Adams brings a level of detail and insight that's both fascinating and chilling. Adams points out that all law enforcement agencies were aware of an armed man within the perimeter for 92 minutes, yet no one warned Trump. The Secret Service, the Department of Homeland Security, and local police were all on different radio frequencies, which meant they weren't communicating effectively. It's like watching a car crash in slow motion. And the most disturbing part is that the body of the alleged shooter, Thomas Matthew Crooks, was cremated without notice to his family or investigators. This act alone raises a lot of eyebrows and suggests a coordinated effort to erase evidence. Adams, with his background in self-defense and close ties to military experts, notes that the Secret Service's 16-second delay in responding to the first shot is highly suspicious. Normally, a trained counter-sniper would respond within 1 to 2 seconds. The fact that they didn't leads Adams to believe there was a stand-down order. He argues that the highest levels of the Secret Service need to be held accountable for this insidious behavior. The conversation then takes a historical turn, drawing parallels to the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. Just as the crime scene was quickly cleaned up after JFK's murder, the same pattern of evidence destruction appears to be playing out here. Adams and Stone agree that this is more than just a series of coincidences. It's a well-coordinated effort to suppress the truth. Next, they shift to the broader political landscape and the ongoing battle for free speech. Adams shares that he and his companies have filed a lawsuit against platforms like Twitter, Meta, and Google for censoring conservative voices. The suit also names government departments, alleging that these platforms were specifically instructed to suppress certain content. Adams is pushing for an end to shadow banning and the unrestricted sharing of links to his free speech platform, BrightLearn.com. Stone adds a personal touch, sharing his own experiences with censorship and the challenges of maintaining a strong online presence. He's taken steps to broadcast on platforms like Rumble, which he praises for its commitment to free speech. Stone and Adams both believe that platforms like X, formerly Twitter, need to fully embrace their promise of free speech. And they're calling on Elon Musk to take decisive action. The conversation takes a poignant turn when Stone shares his personal history with Donald Trump, highlighting Trump's courage and genuine concern for his fellow Americans. Stone recounts a moment during a rally where Trump, despite the ongoing threat, broke free from his Secret Service detail to help someone in the crowd who had fainted. This, Stone argues, is the real Trump, a man who genuinely cares and is willing to put himself at risk for others. But the discussion doesn't stop there. They also delve into the state of the food industry and the alarming levels of toxicity in our food supply. Adams, a self-proclaimed advocate of clean eating, explains how genetically modified organisms, GMOs, and toxic pesticides are poisoning our food. He encourages listeners to adopt organic, wild-crafted, and homegrown foods to protect their health. Adams even ties this back to the Bible, explaining how many of the foods mentioned in Scripture are natural medicines that God has provided. When it comes to the Democratic National Convention, both Adams and Stone are scathing in their criticism. They mock the failed national anthem performance by the Women's Caucus, describing it as a scene straight out of the movie Idiocracy. They also highlight the hypocrisy of politicians like Bernie Sanders, who speaks against the influence of money in politics while amassing a significant personal fortune. Stone argues that the Democratic Party has strayed far from its roots, becoming a vehicle for Marxist ideology and policies that threaten American values. The interview ends on a hopeful note, discussing the potential political realignment sparked by the speculation of Robert F. Kennedy Jr. joining the Trump campaign. Adams sees RFK Jr. as a perfect complement to Trump, bringing expertise in health and big pharma that Trump has lacked. This, they believe, could make the Trump ticket unbeatable. Stone wraps up by emphasizing the importance of the upcoming election, the need to support candidates like J.D. Vance, and the critical role of grassroots efforts in turning the tide. He encourages listeners to stay informed, support free speech platforms, and be vigilant in the face of unprecedented challenges. So, there you have it, folks. A packed and powerful interview that covers a range of topics from political intrigue to food safety and free speech. If you want to dive deeper into any of these issues, be sure to check out Mike Adams' work at naturalnews.com and brightlearn.com. And don't forget to tune in to Roger Stone's show on Rumble for more unfiltered insights. Thanks for joining me on this episode of the BrightLearn podcast. Stay curious, stay informed, and keep learning. Until next time, take care and stay bright.
This has been a BrightLearn.ai summary of an interview between Roger Stone and Mike Adams on August 23, 2024. The full interview is available at brighteon.com, where you can also find podcasts and special reports by Mike Adams and other creators. Visit naturalnews.com for full editorial coverage of this interview and breaking news on critical stories that will keep you informed and aware of what's really going on.